Today is about show me the money. We're going to give you some exciting ideas on how to do that. And many of you are sitting on tens of thousands of dollars that you're going to all of a sudden find you have today that you didn't know you had. Some of you are going to find hundreds of thousands of dollars in that category today, and some of you will find $1 million or more. If you're going to be a successful entrepreneur, you need to be a master at generating and conserving cash. You need a heightened awareness of where cash is hiding and how to manifest it into your bank account. The process must become second nature to you. It must operate 24/7, whether you're awake or asleep. You have no higher priority than generating cash. That's the essence of entrepreneurism. Because in the world you live in, it takes cash to do everything. Of course, here at Bizar Financing, we learn how to make it not our cash, but it takes cash to do everything. So this is critical. Cash is the measure by which you will be judged. It's the resource that facilitates your growth. Financial leverage is about making relatively little cash accomplish the impossible. And today is about how you as an entrepreneur relate to, think about, and prioritize cash. Here's how to think of cash. Every dollar of cash in your bank account is worth $10 to $20 using financial leverage. Think about that. If you can take every dollar of real money that you have and leverage that into 10 or 20 times that amount of money through financial leverage, think of how important every dollar of real cash is that you can put away into that bank account. And so that's what we're going to focus on today, how to create some real cash in your bank account that enables you to leverage those dollars 10 to 20 times towards the startup or the development or the expansion or the acquisition of your business. I want you to treasure the thinking process behind these 35 ways to raise the tens of thousands to the millions of dollars that you're going to need to start, buy, or expand your business. Because if you will treasure these thoughts, the thought process, then you're going to be an extraordinary entrepreneur. And I'm going to give you examples and specifics today, but it's not the specifics that are really important. It's the thinking process that if you can adapt it and adopt it to who you are, you will be unstoppable at raising money. Check for unclaimed money from the government. Wow. This is going to blow your mind. Now, some of you know about this. Many of you don't. Write down the website, USA/unclaimed-money. Billions are owed to people who have long since lost track or even memory of past accounts. Bank accounts, insurance refunds, stored deposits, unreturned overpayments, uncompleted layaways, paychecks, uncashed, rent deposits, credit cards with credit balances that you closed out. You don't even remember you had a credit balance. This is just a partial list. How many of these that I just named here do you think you might have had over your lifetime? That I'll guarantee you have no recollection. You have no memory that this has been true for you. And somewhere in that website, all of that stuff is put together because there's a word. I'm going to give it to you in a minute again. And the word is Escheat, E-S-C-H-E-A-T. Because under the law, all those things you're seeing there, when you forget about them after 3 to 5 to 7 years, different for different industries. But once that money is unclaimed at that source for that given time, by law, they have to turn it over to the government because it legally escheats to the government. And it goes there, but the government holds it for you in an account in your name. The government's got the money. They're using it right now. Okay, but if you show up, their job is to actually help you to reclaim the money from them, and they'll pay you. You're going to get the check from the government. This stuff is all in there. And some of this money, of all these things, never mind you, some may be owed to your deceased relative, your aunts, your uncles, your grandparents. There's no statute of limitations on this. There's money that's been sitting in those, quote, uncollected accounts held by the government for 200 years. 200 years. And if your family tree goes back far enough and you can prove that's your family tree, you can collect it. So buried in here is potentially a lot of money for you. And the research that you can do is very quick. You just go here, follow the directions, and see what might be available to you. It could be a few $100, could be nothing. It could be several $1,000. It could be something huge, okay? Could be something huge. You don't know till you get in there. Now, another corollary to that site is check for unclaimed property. The other was money. Unclaimed property is to unclaimed.org. And again, there's billions of dollars worth of unclaimed property. It exists, and some may have been owed to your deceased relatives, and you can claim it. And here's the word again that I wanted you to get, Escheat. Now, assets or property will only be available through this website for a limited period of time. It's during that period of time when that property is still technically in your name or in the name of your relative. But at some point, if they've disappeared and they're not around anymore, at some point it escheats to the government. So if it was a house, raw land, if it was securities like stocks or bonds, if it were anything, doesn't matter what it is, it escheats to the government. Now, the government doesn't hold the assets. So for a limited period of time, it will be available through this unclaimed.org. But eventually, once it goes to the government, it doesn't want to own all this stuff. So they sell it, and then they put the money from the sale into, quote, your account. And so if you go back here to this, here is money that has inured on your behalf, held by the government in this unclaimed pot of money that's there. Some of it may have been what was once property, never mind just money that's been in these forms that I'm showing you here on this screen. All right? So get friendly with these terms, understand them, and know that it's a place where money may be sitting for you. Now, let's say, for example, that you can't find this for yourself, but now, after doing this for yourself, you're an expert, right? You got this all figured out. You see exactly how it works, what has to be done to reclaim the money. What's wrong with spending a little time doing this for your friends and neighbors, right? Do it for your work associates. Do it for your clients. Do it for people who respond to an ad that you put in the paper saying, hey, you want to find out if you got money? Call me, okay? And now you do the research, you find out, and you do it for charities, donors, because think about this. If I'm a charity, wouldn't I love it for the people who consistently donate to my charity for me to be able to find them some hidden assets that they can turn into money and actually do it for them? So I can make deals with charities to go through their donors and find out if their donors have any money that would be like this. And then we, together with the charity, can go to their donors and say, hey, you got all this money sitting here. We know you love our charity, so why don't you let us help you to claim this asset or claim this money, and you'll get the deduction, and the charity will get the money, and you don't have to do anything. We'll do everything for you, okay? Charities love to partner up with you for something like that. So would clubs, so would unions, so would associations. And then you make a deal to split the results. You get half, the charity gets half, you get half, the neighbor gets half, you get half, the ad responder gets half. A lot of money sitting there. This is something you can do in your spare time once you learn how to do it for yourself. In other words, there's no reason to sit around and say, I don't have any money. This is all sitting there. Hire people from the Philippines to help locate, okay? You don't want to do all this work? Don't worry about it. There are folks in the Philippines who will work for $2 an hour, who will sit there and do this all day long, go through all the research, do everything, and the only thing that I don't have them do is to fill out the forms, because I don't want everybody knowing what I do to really turn this into money. But all the preliminary work can all be done by people out of the Philippines, happy to do it $2 an hour, and it makes all the work go away for you.